Today I read books. The title, The Jaguars, Jaguar,
Sure,
Jaguar, Jaguar,
sure, sure.
Jaguar, Chapter 2 and Chapter 4. Chapter 2. The kids, the kids, the kids followed Uncle Warren through the green door. They crammed carpet stair to the door with a frosted, frosted glass window. Uncle Warren unlocked it, and they walked into a spacious, dimly lit office. The wooden curtain nearly as tall as things sit on the floor. Dick looked around the room. A desk and some chairs were arranged on the oriental lap. A fish tank bubbles quietly, quickly near the desk. Against against the wall stood a bookcase. Dink picked hmm? Dink picked through another door and saw a computer on the desk, a file cabinet, and some bookshelves. My assistant, my assistant's work is in there, Uncle Warren said. He took afternoon off. It's his daughter's birthday, and they've gone to the zoo. You have a zoo? Josh asked. Yes, right here in Marathon, we have the Central Park Zoo. Uncle Warren said. It's pretty small, but there are also Bronx Zoo, which is animals. Uncle Warren flipped up three switches on the wall. Suddenly, a ceiling fan began whirring around. Music came from hidden speakers. Overhead lights beamed overhead lights beamed down on them. This is this is this is a cropice.
This is a, this is
This is a cropice. Thank you. His uncle said.
right, yes. 이거 너무 신기한 표현이잖아.
You have Jew?
이거 엉클러블한 거 아니잖아.
음,
단순히 사는 곳에
음,
주가 있느냐 없는 거잖아.
음.
그게 되게 독특한 표현이잖아. 우리는 그렇게 표현 안 하잖아.
음. 그래서 우리나라 사람은 항상 시비 거는데 그런 식으로 그러지.
그러니까
그 동네가 네 동네야?
아니
너 어디 살아? 울산에. 울산이다 네 거야? 이러고 그렇지.
그러니까
이거 그거잖아.
아니 그러니까
비슷한
이거는
느낌인데.
주 가지고 있어 이렇게 묻는 거잖아. 난 이거가 되게 신기했어.
그건 당신이 신고할 수 있겠다. 우리는 맨날 그 시비 거리던 그랬잖아. 그 옛날에 당신 기억나? 아마 운전하고 가고 있으면 어디 도로 위 도로 다니까 고속도로 다니까 point to the fish tank.
어느 곳
Would like to feed my little friend. I was Rosa said. Uncle Warren hand her a container of fish food and showed her how much food to sprinkle on the water. Look at this, Josh said. Lifting 올라가시고 Rika, Angela, lifting a shiny silver digger off the desk. The blade was carved, and the handle was shaped like a soaring hawk. Careful, Uncle Brown said. It's sharp. I use it as a little opener. It is real silver, Josh asked. Uncle Brown nodded. and was made in Spain more than 300 years ago. I can see my reflection on it in it, Josie said. Uncle Warren laughed. That's because my assistant polishes it every morning. Josie whipped the little opener on his t-shirt and placed it back on the desk. Now now let's see what we have here. Uncle Warren said. He dropped his shirt jacket over the chair. Then degraded the toolbox from a closet. He selected a small crowbar from among the tools, fitting the sharp and fitting the sharp end of the bar under the crate lid. He pried the top up. Inside were mounts Inside were mounts of white bagging peanuts. Uncle Warren reached through the peanuts and pulled out a small packet wrapped in brown paper. 내가 계속 이디 안 붙여볼 게라고 지금 무지경 쓰고 있다 지금. The strip 그러니까 dragged selected 요 T 붙으면 T 요거는 D가 아니라 drag 드 붙으면 안 되네. 말고 밑에 이거 드래그드가 아니잖아. D 안 붙었잖아.
ED잖아요. 그럼 이게 드래그까지는 소리가 나고
드래그
이게 드 소리 나는 거라고. 그잖아요. 봐봐요. 지가 그 이렇게 되잖아요. 이빨
그러면 똑같잖아.
드래그 아니 이게 괜찮아요. 이거 드래기드 이렇게
드래그 그 이거를 발음을 안 하는 게 아니라
here만 여기만 그것만
요 드만 발음하는 거.
요것만 발음 안 하고 드래그
그렇게 한다는 얘기였어? 드래그 그럼 나도 pride top inside were mount inside were mount of white bagging peanuts. Uncle Warren reached through the peanuts and pulled out a small package wrapped in brown paper. He stripped away the paper to reveal a layer of plastic bubbled wrap. He carefully removed the plastic and held up a cold cup. Cool, said Josh. Uncle Warren grinned. Uncle Warren grinned at the kid. Lovely, isn't it? He said. This is a drinking cup made by the Inca people in the 1500s. Imagine, almost 500 years ago. Have you studied? Have you studied Inca in school? The kids shook their head.
Shook.
Where the Inca live in Peru. Where the Inca live in Peru, in South America. The Pottery Museum is going to display some of their pottery and gold sculpture.
잠깐 붙어 입이.
Sculpture. Sculpture.
그래 나도 그거 발음 연습한다고 페이지 끊어놨어.
Leaning on the side of the crate, Uncle Warren dug deep into the bonnet. Aha, I think this is the jaguar. Grunting, 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 grunting. He lifted out the much bigger package. It was as long as Dick's arms and nearly as big around as his waist. The heavy package made solid to 이거 아니고 이거 뭐야 이거?
써지.
유디인데?
그러니까 시도 하고 싶어?
응. 유디잖아. 얘는 쓰라 치고 made solid should as Uncle Warren set it on his desk. Why is it so heavy? Josh asked. Gold is heavy metal. Uncle Warren explained. The Inca admired jaguar for their strength and cunning. This one is made of solid gold. It held populous emerald. 그러니까 populous. 퓨는 아니라고. 피가 아니니까 populous. Bulus. It held the populous emerald in its front pouch. Can we see it? Asked Ross. Yes, but not until tomorrow. His Ross. 아까 읽었어요. 이게 이 앞에 거 뭐 한번 헷갈리고 나면 얘가 발음이 이상해 나.
여자의 이름만 이상하게.
그 여자 이름 별로 이상하게 안 불렀어. 아까 로스라고 불렀어. Yes. Rose. Yes, but not until tomorrow, he said. Dr. Peters will be here at 9 o'clock. He worked for the Society of Indian Treasurers. Dr. Peters will inspect every piece as it comes out of its wrapping. Why, Josh asked. To make sure everything has arrived safely. Uncle Warren said. This piece peaceless treacherous. Uncle Warren put the jaguar back in the crate. Sleep well, he said. Then he reached into the toolbox and handed Josh a hammer. Let's relieve the cup and put it back. Then nail the crate shut again till tomorrow. After they finished, Uncle Warren said, "Now let's lock up and walk to my apartment. We'll leave your backpack with Roger. Then I'll treat you to a New York dinner." "Who's Roger?" Rose asked. "He's the doorman at my apartment building," Uncle Warren said. "He opened the door for tenants. Tenants said, 그냥 읽어봐. Tenant. L이 없거든. Tenant. And history. Tenants. Tenant and whistle for taxi.
그러는 거야.
음,
이거 삐삐 이렇게 때 입에 손을
맞아.
가지고.
Can we eat at your friend's restaurant? Josh asked. Yes, but not tonight, Uncle Warren said. I'm saving that for your last night in the city. What kind of food do you like? Pizza and ice cream? Josh said. Dink laughed. Josh will eat anything, he said. I mean, do you want Japanese, Chinese, Italian, Greek, Indian, or Mexican food? Dink Uncle asked. Why don't you pick? Dink said. We love surprise. Uncle Warren flipped down the wall switches. The right music and ceiling fan and all went off. The kid followed him out of the office. That surprise you should have, he said, and threw the door shut behind them. Chapter 3. Dick Uncle lived in the quiet gray building a few blocks from the museum. A tall man in the green uniform opened the doors. Good evening, Mrs. Duncan. Duncan.
덩컨.
Mr. Duncan.
덩컨해 그냥.
Duncan.
덩컨 도너츠.
Dunkin.
같은 느낌이야. 덩컨 도너츠.
Duncan.
덩킨 도너츠가 아니라 덩컨 도너츠.
Mr. Duncan.
덩컨보단 덩컨이 훨씬 듣기가 좋지 않아?
Duncan. Mr. Duncan. The man said, Hello, Roger. Kid, this is Roger Hubbard. Uncle Warren put his hand on Dick's shoulder. This is my nephew, Donnie, and those are his parents from Connecticut. Connecticut. 이도 끝나는구나. And those are his parents from Connecticut, Josh and Ruth Rose. Roger smiled at the kid. Welcome to New York, he said. Will you watch their backpack while we're out? Uncle Warren asked. Will you watch their backpack while we're out?
Will you watch my backpack? 하고 나서 where?
While we're out.
우리가 갔다 오는 동안에.
Uncle Warren asked. I'm taking a kid for dinner. Any suggestions?
표현은 정말 괜찮은 것 같았어.
Any suggestions? Roger laughed. Roger loved his stomach. How about the panda place or Chinese? Perfect, Uncle Warren said. How about it, kid? I've never eaten Chinese food, Josh said. What's it like? Delicious, and there are about a million choice on the menu, Roger said. All right, Josh said. I'm game, Dick said. Me too, Lucy Rose said. Can we eat with chopstick? Lucy Rose. Me too, Ruth Rose said. Can we eat with chopsticks? Uncle Warren laughed. Of course. They walked to a street called Broadway. The wide sidewalk were crowded with people. Writers began to come on in store windows. A man leans against the building, playing softly on a saxophone. The saxophone case lay open at his feet. Look, Joshi whispered. There's money in that guy case. If people like his playing, they give him money. Uncle Warren explained. He had dropped the dollar bill into the case. The kid each dropped some change in, getting a smile from the sixth player. Here we are, Uncle Warren said. A few minutes later, the panda place the panda place had a shiny red door with with Peck Peck Panda Bear standing on either side. A smiling host welcomed them to the restaurant. 2 hours later, Joshi ran back from the table. I'm stood, he said. Their waitress brought the beer and placed the fortune cookie in front of each of them. Inside those cookies you'll find a slip of paper telling your fortune. Uncle once said, some people think that if you eat the cookie, your fortune will come true. Can I save my can I save can I save mine till later? Think ask. My stopwatch is ready to but. Good idea. We'll have the cookies at home, Uncle Ron said. He fed the bear, and they left the panther place. By the way, what were those black slimy things on my chicken? Joshi asked as they walked along Broadway. Seaweed, Dink said. No way. Seaweed, Donkey said. Dink said. No way. Donnie is right, Uncle Warren said. But seaweed is good for you. Good for fish, maybe, Josh said. It started it started to rain, so they worked quickly at the apartment. Roger handed them their backpack. How was dinner? He asked. I ate black seaweed, Joshi, Joshi muttered, muttered, muttered. Joshi muttered. Roger grinned. Good stuff, isn't it? He asked. Uncle warned, and the kid rode the elevator to the temple floor. Then walked down the hall to the great door. Welcome to my little apartment, Uncle Warren said, and led them inside. Uncle Warren's living room was filled with, with old, comfortable-looking furniture. The carpet on the floor was thick and soft. Painting hung on the white wall between overflowing bookcases. Neat place, Uncle Warren. Think said. Thank you, darling. Lucy Rose. Lucy Rose. Lucy Rose. Lucy Rose. You get a guest room, Uncle Warren said. You two boys can share the fold-out sofa here in the living room. When they were all in their pajamas, they they gathered 아니 뭐지 감명 읽어봐. gather. They gathered. They gathered around the dining room table to open their fortune cookies. The oldest began to read his first. Uncle Warren said, cracking open his cookie. He read his fortune silently, then laughed out loud. Mine already come true. It say that I will meet nice people today, and I have. Me next, Josh said. He broke open his cookie and folded out the thin paper. He read out loud. Strange. He read. He read out loud. 읽었다고.
이게 pulled out.
Pull out. 난 그냥 pull 그랬지. Pulled out the thin paper. He read out loud. Strange food will freeze you. Josh made face. I already ate seaweed. He said, I can't wait to see what's next. My tongue. Rose said. She ate. Rose said. She ate her cookie and looked, 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 and looked at the fortune inside. Oh boy, this say I'll find tre- treasure in unexpected place, unexpected, unexpected place, peace, unexpected place. Your turn, nephew. Think Uncle said. Then it's too bad for all of us. We have a busy day tomorrow. Dink cracked. Dink cracked open his cookie and read his fortune to himself. I don't get it, he said. Out loud, Dink, Josh said. Dink read. Your eyes will play tricks on you. His uncle smiled right now. Your eyes should look pretty sleepy, nephew of the slumberland of two slumberland. After breakfast the next morning, Uncle Warren and the kid walked back to the museum. It was still raining. Back to the museum. Walked. Uncle Warren and the kid walked back to the museum.
발음이 훨씬 쉬워. 그렇게 막 보니까.
근데 이게 벌어 들으려니까 힘드네. It was still raining. So they huddled. So they huddled under two umbrellas. They left the dripping umbrella on the small landing at the top of the stairs. Another wet umbrella already stood in the umbrella stand. Uncle Warren opened the door, and they walked into his office. A man greet them just inside the door. And James, you're here, think Uncle said. Kid, this James pride. My assistant, James, this is my nephew, Donnie Duncan, and his friends Josie and Ruth Ross. James Pride smiled at the kid. Has Warren taken you side the ceiling? He asked. Not yet, Uncle Warren said. But I've promised them a buggy ride through Central Park when the rain stops. James stopped the wooden crate. I will leave this to you, Warren, he said. My daughter loved the Jew, but now I am behind on paperwork. He walked into his office and closed the door. Just then, there was a knock on the outer office door. Uncle Webb opened into a man in a wet raincoat. I'm Dr. Jeremy Pitt. The man said, I believe Mr. Duncan is expecting me. Indeed, I am, Dr. Pitt. Then Uncle said, he shook, he shook a man's hand. Come in and dry off. Care, care, careful some tea, careful some tea? No, thanks. Thank you. I had breakfast at my hotel. Dr. Pitt said. He grand, grand around the office, then walked up to a large crate. I see the treasurers have arrived. Yes, the box came yesterday. The uncle said, hang up your wet thing and we'll get to work. Once more, Uncle Warren pried off the crate right. He wrapped each piece from the crate and handed it to Dr. Pitt, who carefully removed, 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 removed the wrapping using a special magnifying glass. Magnifying glass. Mm. He examined each item, then checked it off a list. The kid helped by rewrapping the treasure. There were several more golden cups, a few carved animals, some pottery, and mask, colorful mask made of jute and feathers.
Heather.
Feathers. 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 Jute and feathers. This all looks in fine condition, Dr. Pitt said. He glanced at his wrist. But where is the jaguar, Mr. Duncan? Think Uncle Rich Dunk Dink Uncle reached down into the crate. Donny, can you give me a hand?
Reach it. 이상한 말은 reach.
Reach. Reach.
근데 짧게 튼.
Reach it.
Reach it.
Dink Uncle reached down into the crate. Donny, can you give me a hand? He asked. Dink hurried over, and together they left the long, heavy package out of the crate. Fix it here, please, Dr. Pitt said. He stood near the right side of Uncle Warren's desk. Watch the fish tank, Donny, the uncle said as they set the heavy package down on the desk. They are great, gathered. They are gathered around as Dr. Pitt stripped away the brown paper. Josh read out the gasp as the plastic bubble wrap was removed. The jaguar was solid gold. It was lying down, staring out of lobby eyes. Between its front paw was an emerald size of the golf ball.
Yeah, steering 맞아.
Steering, staring, staring out of lovely eyes. Between its front paw was an emerald the size of the golf ball. The green jewelry. The green jewel blazed under the office right. Isn't it spectacular, kid? Uncle Warren asked. What's workmanship?
Spectacular.
spectacular.
진지하지 않으니?
그렇구나. spectacular. Isn't it spectacular, kid? Uncle Warren asked.
드라큘라 같다.
What workmanship? Dr. Pitt with his hand on the hand kerchief.
그렇지.
Kerchief.
그렇지.
Then he stroked the golden cat, feeling its curve and muscle. What's this? He said, suddenly bending over the jewel. Something wrong, think Uncle said. Dr. Pitt peered through his magnifying glass at the jewel. A minute later, he raised his head and looked, looked at Dink Uncle. Sir, this stone is a fake. Chapter 4. What do you mean? Dink Uncle asked. I don't see how it could be fake. Dr. Pitt rested finger, 맞네. Dr. Pitt rested the finger on the jewel. This is not the original emerald. He explained. In fact, it is not an emerald at all. But how could that be? Thanks, Uncle. Think, Uncle cried. Look, I will show you, Dr. Pitt said. He took a small flashlight from his pocket. Wilfred pulled the shut and turned off the light. He asked. Think what closer. Think what closer to the window. So he pulled the shade down and clicked off the light over the fish tank. Josh hurried up to the switch on the wall. When the room was dark, Dr. Pitt turned on his flashlight and shone the beam on the jewel. Suddenly, the flashlight went out. Dick heard something hit the desktop, then roll up to make a soft thud on the carpet. Sorry, Dr. Pitt muttered.
너무
Muttered. Pitt muttered. I seem to have dropped my flashlight. Can someone please? I will get it, Josh said in the dark. He carried it down and fumbled around under the desk. Found it, he said a moment later. He stood, switched it on, and aimed, 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 and aimed, 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 aimed right at the desk. Thank you, young man, Dr. Pitt said. He took a flashlight and pointed it at the jewel once more. You see, if this were a real emerald, the light would penetrate. Penetrate. Hmm. Explained. The right beam would go to the heart of the jewel. He tapped the finger against the jewel. But this is just grass. Notice how the light bounces off the surface. The light does not enter the stone. He shone the light on his own face. Of course, that is just my opinion. You are welcome to get another, Mr. Duncan. 내 방금 되게 잘한 것 같아. 아니, 내 발음이 되게 좋았던 것 같아. I certainly Certainly will.
귀여워.
Think Uncle said. He walked over to the wall and switched on the light. Dink blinked at the sudden brightness. His uncle looked very upset, but I simply can't understand how the real emerald could have been switched for the fake one. Dink uncle continued. Are you absolutely sure? Dr. Pitt nodded. Unfortunately, yes.
Fortunate.
Unfortunately,
fortune.
그건 아는데 발음이 잘 안 돼.
fortune.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunate.
yes, I'm sure. Then the swap, then the swap must have taken place before the crate arrived. Uncle Warren declared. Perhaps it happened in South America. When I when the jaguar was rapid, Dr. Pitt shook his head. I'm sorry, but I was there for the packing. I assure you, when the jaguar was put into this crate, the emerald was real. Think Uncle stared at the jaguar. I just don't see how it was possible. He repeated. Dr. Pitt shrugged, 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 shrugged,
Shrug.
shrugged,
Shrug.
shrugged. 이게 아니고 shrugged. 아이 그 발음 듣기
근데
힘드네.
이거가
Dr.
내가
Pitt shrugged,
듣기도 훨씬 좋을 거야. shrug. 왜냐면
shrugged.
듣까지가 내 듣가
Dr. Pitt
길지
shrugged.
않거든. shrug.
Of course, I will have to report this to the police. He said, if you want that second opinion, then Uncle hurried across the room and opened the door to James' private office. James, please call Imperial Jewelry on Broadway. Ask Regina. Ask Regina Wu to come immediately.
누구더라?
Tell her it's urgent. Why? Well, Regina.
포터에 나오는 해리포터에 나오는 그 뱀 이름 있잖아. 레기니.
Regina.
그게 생각났어.
While they wait,
레지나.
Dr. Peters
레기나 하길래 레기니가
examined the lock on the office door, then wrote something on the small pad. Uncle Warren slumped in his chair and still stared at the stage. Stage. Stared at the stage. The kid sat on the log and think want to say something to his uncle, but he looked too upset. Long minutes passed. Then the knock sounded at the door. Uncle Warren jumped up. He read in the tall woman wearing a black raincoat. Warren, I came as fast as I could, she said. The streets are the mess. They shook hands, and think Uncle explained about the jaguar jewel. Dr. Pitt cried, it's fake. May I using a jaguar magnifying glass? Mrs. Wu examined, 맞지? Miss Wu examined the stone for a few minutes. Then Then she removed the small bottle from her pocket and squeezed a drop of liqueur onto the jar. When liqueur dried, she whipped the stone with a cross. She shook her head. "He's right," she said. "This is Grace Le, Replica. Replica." Uncle Grant fell back into his chair. "I am simply dumbfounded. Dumbfounded. Where did the switch take place? How could possibly? Pardon me," Dr. Pitt said. "The lock on the door does not appear to have been paused. Who beside you has a key to this office?" Mr. James Pride, "My assistant, for one," Uncle said, "and my friend John Powell. He owns the restaurant next door to the museum. He read the delivery man into my office yesterday. So this John Powell has the key?" Dr. Pitt asked. Uncle Ron shook his head. "Not Kev. I lent him my key since the crate was due while James and I were away from the museum. So the people beside yourself had access to the jaguar. Is that right?" Dr. Pitt asked. "Your assistants and your friends." "That is correct, but I assure you, neither of them had touched that stuck to the idea is absurd." Excuse me, Uncle Warren, Dink said. "Everyone turned, turned to look at Dink. Wouldn't there be fingerprints? I mean, if someone did take a real jewelry, they leave prints of on the fake, all right." No one spoke. No one spoke for a minute. Then Dr. Pearson smiled at Dink. "That's an excellent idea," he said. "And I think we should ask the police to look for fingerprints. They will, of course, find mine. But unless I miss my guess, no others." "Why do you say that?" Rose asked. "Because, young lady," Dr. Pitt said, "this chap was very clever, and ch- chivs were clever chivs wear gloves." Uncle Warren nodded at the palm. "Please call the police," he told Dr. Pitt. "They will prove that Jim Powell and James innocent. Innocent." Dr. Pitt looked at Dink Uncles. "Excuse me, sir, but there is another suspect. And who would that be?" Uncle Warren asked. "Yourself," Dr. Pitt said quickly. quickly.
점점 더 재밌어져.
음.
여기까지는 계속
거기서까지 불렀어.
근데 여기서부터 갑자기 급 진전되면서
그래?
이게
야, 하루 만에 이만큼 불렀어.
재밌잖아.
재밌네.
요거 재밌어. 잘 넘어가고.
여기서부터 12조, 40조까지 한 방에 읽었어.
40페이지. 그림 빼고 그렇게.